Okay, we should be live momentarily. So if you're watching the replay, well, crap, my computer's dying. Let me plug that in. Anyways, if you are watching the replay, you already know that I love you. Actually, a ton of you people watch the replay, like a lot of you do. So thank you very much if you're doing that. I do really appreciate it. And I don't know if they can see us yet because I can't see us yet, but here we go.
It says we're live, so I
If
think
you
we're.
see me, tell me because my phone is leaking.
Listen,
now
I'm in the stream with my notes.
Okay.
Artemis, this has to end. You must move.
Okay. Yes, we are live. Okay. Hello, party people. So I'm very, very excited about this live. One, I've never been on a live with Rachel, and it has been months since I was on a live with Bree. So I'm very excited about it. I will say, Bree, that you are ridiculously popular when it comes to lives because anytime I ask people who they want to see, you're like the top name. And I'm like, she's supposed to be saying no. I can't ask her for everything. So I like pick and choose what I ask you for.
I'm popular?
Yes. I kid you not. Every time I ask, people are like, Bree is my favorite to see in lives.
That's because Bree brings a lot of like great energy to lives and always makes me laugh. They're so
Exactly.
good.
I feel like I'm either out of pocket in the camera or with a comment.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is that's the energy I want.
Yeah.
That's why I show up.
And genuinely, I'm so genuine with this. I think that Bree is the funniest person in all of Booktube. I've not seen anyone that makes me laugh like she does. So,
100%.
Oh, since you think I'm funny, I need you to be a part of one of my life goal dreams, which is to do stand up one time.
Well, yeah.
Wait, you could do stand up. You could.
I just want to do it once and then head out, you know?
I do. That's what I would do. Well, I wouldn't. I would never do stand up, but like once and done. One and done.
Yeah, I don't. Because the first time they boo me, I'm going to start talking about people's mamas. And then it's going to go wrong.
I love this idea.
I mean, it sounds very right to me. I would be thrilled to my core. So, see, Bree is the best.
Oh, thank you.
We're actually just here to talk about how much we all love Bree.
I love Bree so much.
I'm over here just pretending. Oh my God, Erin, stop.
True.
We're gonna make Bree emotional and never get to it. All right. Anyhow, I'm very, very excited for Bree and also Rachel. Rachel, I'm excited for you too. But actually, Rachel and I have a ton in common. We're both former fundies. We're both parents. We both do Booktube, all that jazz. So we actually have quite a bit in common. And I really have so enjoyed, and Rachel's one of the people that I've enjoyed finding other people who grew up in fundy and evangelicalism and all of that and have moved out of it as adults. And I'm like, oh, I relate to you. And oh, maybe I'm not there yet, or maybe I was there a year or two ago, but like we are on the same journey. Like I see us. And it's so nice to see other people doing the same thing and not to feel alone. So I'm very happy that you've mentioned that so many times on the internet. So
good.
Rachel and then Bree, if you could tell us what your channel primarily focuses on, and you can introduce yourselves however other way you want. I'm sure they know you, but
I know who the famous one is.
Kill me.
I see your views all the time, and I'm like, dang, that's like a 5-hour-old video. That's crazy. It's like multi thousands.
It's just because I do it inflammatory content. So I'm Rachel from Reads with Rachel, and I talk about a lot of stuff. Primarily, my views come through authors behaving badly. Yep, that is part of what I do. Yes. And I talk about a lot of books that I don't like. That gets a lot of traction as well. But recently I've also been talking about more and more about banning books, how my county is that's what I'm on one lately. it's lighten up the right wingers, because in my county I have kids in public school, and my county has a lot of right-wing people because I live in Florida, so it comes with the territory, unfortunately. But I've been talking a lot about like book banning and stuff, so that's part of what I do. And then I also talk about like evangelicalism, being a former Fundy kid. I try to talk about like pro-choice in literature, both fiction and nonfiction. So I do a lot of stuff. So it's a mixed bag over here. That's what I do.
You do it very well.
Thanks. Artemis, stop.
I am Bree. I do not own a cat, aka the devil spawn, like these two folks here. I feel I feel like they're trying to indoctrinate me into the white woman culture, and I refuse to with these damn cats. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm supposed to talk about what my channel primarily focuses on. When I read that question, I was like, what the hell does it focus on? So in a perfect world, I do read a lot of stuff. I read all kind of things. I have a preference for crime fiction. Yeah. So I want that to come across on my channel, I should say. I want people to know that you're going to probably get a bunch of weird shit or just anything. But you're going to get what I'm feeling. And I haven't posted a book in like a video in like 15 days. I have become a manga girly for sure. For sure.
And a romance girly.
Huh?
So, and a romance girly. So maybe we do influence you. Maybe there is hope.
I'm a romance girly when?
Free.
When did I become a romance girly?
You were all okay. All right, folks. You were all like, I don't know, like a year or so ago. You're like, man, I really am being influenced into romance.
Oh yes, this is true. Sometimes I need a reminder. You're absolutely right.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna say Salt Bay action over romance girly. Specific indie black romance is really all I read. We all know that. That is that when it comes to romance. Us. That's it. I tried Julia Quinn and I almost passed.
Oh my God.
And I said, I'm gonna have to head out. It's a time that comes in your life where you gotta head out. But yeah, absolutely not. But Christina C. Jones forever has my heart. Alexandria forever has my heart. Rilzy forever has my heart. I will slide in there. Sometimes I can't slide in there as much because I'm not saying because I'm on the ACE spectrum I am sex repulsed, but sometimes reading too much about bang bang shang shang, I want to head out. I love a fade to black action. And I do be in those lies. Why? I don't know, because I can tell. I'm still trying to figure out what himbo is, a cinnamon roll.
I made you a whole video series.
You did, and then it left me. It left me. I can't tell you how many times I'll be, because my friend, she is a romance girl. All she reads is romance, Heather. Like that is it. She won't read nothing, and she reads like 400 books a year. Like it's ridiculous. That's all she reads. My best friend. Yeah, that's it. So when she be talking. And she'd be like, yeah, I want us to really talk about this book. I'll just rewatch that video, Heather, because I'm telling you, she'd be throwing shit out. And I'll be like, yeah, what? Like, I have dubious consent, which takes me out. Because I'd be like, how do you know?
Right.
How do you know? But I feel like we have strayed from the path at hand. Let's go on to the next sentence.
Okay. Well, Bree got a little sidetracked there. So
I'm
Bree
tangential
is
as hell.
the creator of Blackaweenathon.
Oh my God, yes.
Would you like to talk about that?
Oh my God.
Please do. We love Blackaweenathon.
Oh my Lord. So Blackaweenathon, I call it, is a celebration of Black authors who write nonfiction, Black fiction. I mean,
Crime?
crime fiction. It happens every October, but it is a readathon that takes a year to plan. I know it's a lot. I know that, but it takes a year to plan. I have to plan it because there's moving pieces in it. It's definitely going to be changed and different than any other year this year. So I'm excited to let people know what's happening this year and what Blackaween is turning into. So and it's trademarked. So don't be out here robbing me. But yeah, so I love it. I've done countless of author interviews. I can't even tell you how many I've done.
Yep.
I would love to get to Nana Reeve Do. That is chef kiss. Simon and Schuster actually messaged me today to send me a copy of her new book, so I'm pretty hype about that. I also just try to make people understand that. Oh, shut up, see. And I just try to do with Blackaween is just be like, hey, I know that Riley Sager and Grady Hendrix and Stephen King and all of those folks exist. But, there are beautiful and wonderful Black authors out there. We have Attica Locke, who is phenomenal. And if you are into anything that has to do with Reese Witherspoon when she does production, Attica Locke is most likely involved in those things. We have Tanana Reeve Dew, who is like the mother of Black horror. We have Brandon Massey, whose suspense stories really have you engaged in the story. We have Latoya. We have just so many. We have Cache from Shay with the Hobbies, beautiful Black writer who write crime fiction and is dedicated to the craft, right? We have so many we have Walter Mosley, like there's so many great Black writers who write crime fiction. And I just try to make sure that we include them. So I hope Blackaween becomes a household name one day. But if my channel focuses on nothing, I want people to know that Blackaween exists.
I read my first Walter Mosley because of Blackaweenathon.
Yeah. He's so good. And he's just good for me. I'm like, a lot of writers be like, oh, I can't write. I'm too old. I'm like, this man started writing when he was approaching his 40s. He quit his job and said, let me get at it. So you can get at it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Amazing.
You really do an amazing job with Blackaweenathon. So I'm sure most people who watch this live are already aware of it, but if you're not, it is a blast. And I don't even read crime fiction, and I find romances that apply and fit and participate, and it's a really good time. So
yeah,
they're linked in the description if for some reason you don't already know, my peoples. So this live it's born of me talking with quite a few different people and then being like, hey, I don't know what videos I'm going to make. And I have a never-ending list of ideas. I just don't want to be bothered to make all of them. So if you ever do run out of ideas, feel free to message me, even if I've never talked to you before. Feel free to message me, and I will probably have something for you. But they were just like, I don't know, because so many of the ideas do require that you read a TBR for it, or you have already read enough books that feature that content or what have you. So I thought it would be fun to have a live that kind of discuss ideas and different videos and stuff. And then it kind of evolves into what I'm hoping this live will be. So chat, if you would like to be interactive, I'd love for you to be interactive, and we'll just talk about whatever comes up. So the first thing that I wanted to start off with is an idea for a video that you've had forever, but don't want to make. So for instance, since way before I started my booktube channel, there's the Cruel Prince by Holly Black, right? And then there's also a very popular dark new adult romance that's named Cruel Prince, and there's about 1,000 more. So my idea was to read different books or discuss different books that had the same title. And you all know that I don't read for videos, so that's literally never happened. But just random things where you're like, I've had this idea and I haven't seen this video, but I'm probably not going to make it.
Yeah. I have a couple of those. Like, I don't know what it is, but the motivation, you got to have that intrinsic motivation to want to post and film and put stuff up. I'm currently just really enjoying being a reader versus being a booktuber. So that's kind of where the disconnect is happening. But I have this video idea that I wanted to do, and it's just like a play on words and titles and themes. So I been just creating small TBRs of books that I would read for certain things. Like one is called Which Library is the Truth, or Telling the Truth, or something like that. And it's just me reading a bunch of books that has library in the title. And then I'm like comparing them and seeing which one is my favorite. And then I have a book title that I want to read, like, is this really a book eater? And books that has eater in the title. And like, what does that, like, is this book really good or something like that? That's what I've just been playing around with, those ideas. And then I also wanted to do a series. If anybody takes it, I know that you robbed me and I'm gonna come for you. I wanted to do like a 4-part series of videos called Death by Numbers, where I read books that have numbers in the title, and just make it fun and interactive. So, but I'm just not filming or reading them.
That sounds cool. I like the numbers one specifically. That's very, like, I feel like you could build a lot off of it and it could be really interesting. But I am so with you, and I really respect too. I know I've mentioned this a million times, so I'm going to mention it again. If I can only have videos or reading, I'm having reading. Like, I would much rather be a reader than a booktuber. So anytime you're like, I'd rather be reading, I really, respect, and I'm like rooting for people who are like, okay, I'm not going to spend all these hours putting a video up this week because I don't want to.
Yeah, I used to care, and like really care, like, oh my God, I have to do 1 video a week, but life is real busy for me. One, and then not saying it's not busy for anybody else. I hope no one thought that was what I was trying to say.
How dare you?
How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Life is busy, and then 2, people aren't really watching my channel in a way where it is like a lucrative thing, or it's like I put in way more work than the channel itself gives to me. So what I try to do is focus on my patrons. Like last week, I did a bunch of stuff and got stuff set up and excited for our vegan artichoke making on Tuesday. Shout out to y'all Wednesday. So, but yeah, I just try to focus on the Patreon because that's where I'm getting more interactions with. So my YouTube channel it's not, I make like 5 cents on a video, so I can't be stressed out about putting a video up. So now I've turned to, I'm gonna do a video when I want to.
So where I'm at, like to jump off of what Bree just said, where I'm at is it if I want to actually make money off videos, I have to talk about stuff that I'm not passionate about, which I am not. I think it's very important to like be a educated consumer and like, you know, be informed about who you're buying from so that you can decide if you know what you're supporting is something you want to support. But like, that's not really where my passion is. Like, I just make them because like people ask me to. I would rather be making other stuff like that won't really do well. So like I know that talking about like this book banning stuff is not really going to do as well, but I do it because that's what I'm interested in my day-to-day life. Like when you're not reading and when you're not watching or thinking about your content, like what are you doing? I'm doing that stuff. Like I'm parenting and I'm thinking about stuff in my community, and like what's important in my community right now is like all this crap going on, and I try to bridge those gaps and make content off of it, but it's not necessarily profitable.
Yeah.
But like ideas that I have had that I haven't made, that are like, you know, my upbringing is something that I'm still dealing with that impacts, you know, who I am day to day. And I think about that a lot. And I'm spending a lot of time as an adult educating myself because I wasn't educated as a kid growing up and going to fundie schools. They keep you very stupid on purpose so that you will stay in fundie land. And what I'm having to do now is teach myself. And I was taught a lot of Red Scare propaganda to fear anything communist, Marxist, socialist, right? But never actually being taught what any of those words mean, how they differ from each other, what's social policy versus economic, none of that. So I'm having to learn that as an adult, and I'm quite interested in it. And I'd love to make a video reading all of the works of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. And I did read the Communist Manifesto, but I haven't read like the collective works of Karl Marx, but I'd like to, and then talk about that versus what my school curriculum and my family says about Marxism. Despite it being about Marx, they've never actually read anything from Karl Marx. So I'd like to do a video discussing that, but it's going to take a lot because a lot of that stuff is over my head because, again, I wasn't given a good education, so I'm having to teach myself. And it's a lot of books, and that's a lot of dedication, and I still haven't done it. But I loved the Communist Manifesto. I got a lot out of that, but it's incredibly short, and it's quite cheeky, which I was not expecting. Like, Karl Marx was definitely making fun of capitalists, so I wasn't expecting that. So it was very easy to read, but like I haven't picked up Das Kapital or anything by Friedrich Engels. So yeah, all this to say, I would like to do more about learning the things that I need to learn now that I was not actually taught, but was taught to fear, but I have not done that.
Yeah. Well, and on the flip side, because I think Bree and I have talked about how we're not getting enough out of videos to make videos that we're not particularly interested in. You are someone that I've been watching your channel, you know, and it's so fascinating to me because I know that you're making content that is, whether you're interested in it or not, you're making content that is significantly more difficult and time intensive and all of that to make than the average Booktube video is. That's just a fact, right? All of your authors behaving badly, all of those things are a lot of work.
Yeah, community tea too. It's just a lot of work and information you got to gather.
Right, exactly.
And the other time intensive for sure.
Yeah, and like they've grown your channel and you're making some money from them. Probably not as much money as people think you're making, but you're making like a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm cool with being transparent because I'm I have to make money to live, but like I would prefer to, you know, live in a non-capitalist society. But I do make good money from ad revenue because of content that I don't love, but I still think is like, you know, I have to do what gets in views because now this is what my family is relying on. I mean, my kid needed dental work and I paid for that out of pocket because of YouTube. Like I got to do that, which was awesome. Despite, you know, also me being like, fuck capitalism, I have to live, right? So yeah, I do make good money from ad revenue. I'm not gonna sit here and lie.
However, you have literally turned it into a job.
I have turned it into a job.
You have to go to work now.
I work 7 days a week, like 20-hour days. So I'm tired.
Okay, well, that's not great. but yeah, like, and I do think about that because I talk a lot about how I just want to make what I want to make, and I know that like I live below the poverty line. Like for our family of 5, I'm below the poverty line. Now I am like secure in my situation. I'm not constantly worried that I'm going to be evicted or not be able to pay my bills and stuff. But numbers wise, I'm well below the poverty line, right? And I'm like, okay, well, if I could make enough money, like if I could make more money than my husband makes his full-time job, making content that I don't necessarily want to make, I would. I would in a heartbeat.
I do it. I do it. But the payoff, like monetarily, is great, but it comes with like, I don't know how much you want me to sit here and say, but like it comes with a lot of. I get a lot of shit. Like I get a lot of shit. It sucks. I get paid well, and I also get a lot of shit.
Right.
So, I said it.
It comes with. It comes with that. So like, you know, you have to ask yourself, is the money worth it? Sometimes, because like now my family is relying on this and I'm doing stuff that I don't necessarily always love what I'm creating, and I'm getting a lot of shit. So yeah, you have to decide that for yourself. You know, every person has to decide, like, if you can make content that is inflammatory is the nicest way that I could describe what I do. And you'll get views, but yeah, it comes with a cost. Sure, it makes good money though.
Right.
Yep.
I find it interesting too that that especially if you are the primary caregiver for children, right? The way that our society is set up, there's not a lot of options that you are able to make more money than the cost of paying someone else to watch your children, right? So like there's not a lot of options available to us. And when you do find one, kind of regardless of the toll that it's taking on you, and sometimes the toll is too much, it's very difficult to be like, okay, like I can't do this when you have to do it.
Yeah, it's being a parent and doing this is, I would like to, I mean, my kids are about to be out for summer, right? And I would like to put them in like programs in the summer where they could go do fun things, especially my youngest, because what a handful. Oh my God. But like, it's so expensive. And then what I end up doing is, I hate the term like workaholic, but I know that if I put them in a summer program, it's going to turn into me using that as an excuse where they're gone all day. Let me work more. So, so that I can like justify the fact that I've put them in an expensive program. So yeah, it's tough. You know, a lot of people are like, when it becomes a job, you're not having fun anymore. I still am having fun most of the time, some days. The problem is that when it becomes a job, if you are prone to feeling like you're not doing enough, it becomes a problem. So like right now I'm really dealing with like balance, like work-life balance issues. So that can be a problem. And that comes with, I think every content creator feels that way, especially those of us who have kids, because everything is content except my kids. My kids are not content. So
I think that it's very difficult because a lot of times if you are the type of mentality, it's difficult if your brain is your own worst enemy, right? If you are the type of mentality that is able to like rise above the masses in a sense and like make content that not everybody wants to make, then you have a very hard time yourself mentally pumping the brakes on that. Like if you are the type of person to get there in the first place, you're rarely the type of person that's also able to be like, let me take the day off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes time.
Yeah.
I felt like in the beginning, like the very beginning of my Booktube career, I was like, meh, I'll post when I post. And then somehow I became really consistent and I was on the fucking internet all the time. And then I was like, huh?
Yeah, you were.
I was on the internet. You hear me? And then, because I was like, oh no, I want to make this a career. But then I realized that there are things that are above me and that will make my channel blowing up is, I don't want to say a pipe dream. But the likelihood, if I was a betting woman, I'm not betting on it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I understand now, like, there's a race thing, there is an age thing, there's a content thing. Like, I literally don't have the space to do what the masses would like to see. Like I know what people would love to see, and especially me being a licensed therapist. People all the time, I want you to talk about this and that. And I'm like, my cup is overfilled. Like I don't even have space to do that at all. Like I am a therapist in all roles of my life, whether I like it or not. It is what it is. So I'm just like, I can't do that too, when 430 hits. You get what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, so it's just hard. And it's also like, my channel is my channel. So now that I've changed my thing and being like, no, I'd rather be and then, I mean, I also not always consistent because mental health, and I firmly believe in taking your time when you need your time. I don't want to hate reading. I don't want to hate the book community. So I just realized probably a couple months ago that I'm just going to do extra stuff for Patreon, because even though, like, I do a video, whether it's sit down, vlog, or whatever, I don't make more than like $5 on it. So I just don't get of going so hard for YouTube when it doesn't really make sense. And the only time I do get, like, maybe the like, just for transparency, the same with Rachel, when I did Spare, which was like the first time I ever read a book so quick, did a view, like edited, had it up the day after it came out. That's the only video I ever made $54 on. I was like, what? $54? Look at that. I'm fucking rich. You know what I mean? And then I did another video and made like $10. That has been it. So I cannot, I'm not rabbit race. And I get people love my personality, think I'm dope. That's all those things are true. But I'm not making money off a dope personality. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta head out.
Yeah.
And also, I know, like, for me, with where I'm at, which is small, like, minuscule in the overall YouTube scheme of things, right? However, and still small even in Booktube. However, there's a lot of creators much smaller than I am, right? And I don't even make like $1 a day out of I don't make $1 a day. And I did used to make more videos and I had to cut back, and that was a good choice for me. But when you're getting paid pennies, and then I know for a fact from talking to Brie and other creators as well, if they are close in size to me and they are Black, I make more money than they do, significantly more money than they do, even though they might have more views than I do. And it's wild. Like, you can't, it's very clear what the answer is, but you can't fight the fact that that is a reality.
Yeah. Right? And knowing that's a reality, I'm like,
why put yourself through it for nothing?
Yeah. The only thing I do feel bad, though, if we were talking about transparency and like the future of our channels and content, you know, going back to why we're here today, is that I do wish I had more energy to post more videos just for the sake of Blackaween. I want Blackaween to be so fucking. I have dreams that I don't even know if realistic. I'm gonna just be delusional, and I'm okay with that for Blackaween. And I just feel like I gotta do more, but I also don't
You're
want
doing
to.
enough.
I feel like let the universe take it. You know,
You do tremendous. That's a tremendous amount of labor, and you've been doing it for years. So
year 4.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Like for as long as you're doing it, I'm excited about it. But holy shit, you should be getting. I'm gonna like deviate into talking about stuff like landlords and shit. But this is the thing. Like YouTube should be paying more. There is no reason why they shouldn't. The amount that they pay people is abysmal. And I'm not talking about me. Like I'm good. Like I'm good where I'm at. Right. Other people though, the amount of labor y'all are putting into shit, and they're not paying you more than $1 a day for actual labor that they are putting advertising on.
Yeah.
They're not doing any work. Y'all are doing all of the work, all of it, for them to profit off of you. That's outrageous.
Yeah,
that's free labor. That's
it's free labor. And another thing that kills me also is I had to like stop doing sponsorships because Ashley and I talked about it too. There were sponsorships I did and Ashley did too, and I found out they were not paying me.
Yeah.
When they told me they didn't have money in their thing, or there was a sponsorship that I was like, you should pay me, and I found out they paid another booktuber thousands of dollars and told me they couldn't pay me.
Are you joking?
So yeah, so it's just like I'm good.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
And there was one time, and I'm be real. There was one time I was like, hey, like $25, like, 25, and they couldn't do
and
that.
And they said no?
Yeah. For us, absolutely fucking not.
And then there was another one. They're like, oh, but we're sending you this thing. And they're like, and the value is $750. So like, that is all we can give you right now.
Well, I guess you can pay your electricity bill with this item of equal or greater value. It doesn't work that way.
Ridiculous.
People funny, man.
Ridiculous.
I mean, they suck. And unfortunately, it's not just in this area, but, it's like that pretty much for everyone.
And a lot of creators,
it's a joke.
Yeah. And a lot of creators and creators of color have that issues with companies, but it's just
definitely
it's just so uneasy. And and even as like a Black creator who like I know people, well, that sounds boisterous. I don't like sounding boisterous. Or even acting that way. How do I say this? Damn it, y'all. I don't know. I know. I know I'm good people. I'm gonna say that. That's the only way I can say it. I know that people be like, yo, Bree, they want to do stuff with me. And it'll be bigger creators, white creators, and I'm starting to be suspicious of it now because I'm like, I'm bringing people to your channel and everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's so funny, she's so great. Nothing's really rolling over on Lock Booktition. So I'm just, and then people will reach out to me for stuff, and I'm just starting to be really suspicious of creators who are white and bigger than me.
As you should be, Rachel.
Now. So now I just don't know what to do. Because I'm like, what you about?
Right.
My eye on you. So I don't know.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's fair. And like, no, like this isn't like behind the scenes shade towards any single creator or anything. But I, as just a random little bystander, have for sure noticed that Blackaween is very popular, and there's some questionable uses, I'll say, where I'm just like, I don't know, guys. It kind of seems like you feel like you're a good person because you are supporting a readathon by a Black creator, and like that's all the diversity points you need, and you don't need to actually do anything more with it than that, I guess.
I mean, I agree. I don't want to monopolize the time at all, but I definitely get it. Like last year was the first and I hope the last time that I become physically emotional and cry over Blackaween, because last year I was so heartbroken by so many creators in the book community with Blackaween. And someone made a comment and was like, Bree, you're in a lot of live chats, right? I am naturally a supportive person. I can't turn it off. It's just who I am. I wish I could turn it off. But if I see you doing your thing, I'm hyping you up, period. Like that's just you. Both of y'all know me. I will hype you up. If I see you doing your thing, I'm like, go ahead. Or if I see your mental health is taking the tank, Rachel, you know I've come for you. So it's just who I am. Like the other day, my friend, she is one of 3 Black women who are criminologists in the country. And she invited me to, she is fucking dope. Do you hear me? She is trained. She is changing police policy around the country so that more Black and brown bodies are protected in these streets. Do you hear? She is fucking dope. And I was like, amazing. All in the chat. I was like, yes, girl, you better let them know. And she was like, theory and this. I said, not theory, not you got me in the dictionary. And I was losing my shit. I was so proud. And then I called her. I said, okay, now, Carolyn, you better show them. She goes, Bree, if you don't do nothing, you gonna hype me up and will and is. So like, I'm always hyping people up, and it gets kind of sad because like my friends that are not on the internet or friends on the internet, Ashley constantly hyping me up. I hype her up. What's understood don't need to be explained. So it gets last year was just really hard, and I realized just the support that I give, and not saying that I'm like, you better support me, but just my thoughts on friendship and collaboration is much different than other people. And I also understand that as a Black woman, we naturally just hype motherfuckers up. So we're always in a situation with other Black women where we're hyping each other up. When I step outside of that, it just feels like, wait, what's going on? I thought, what's happening here? So that's, I hope that made some sense. But yeah,
it absolutely did.
Be a little rough in these streets, in these internet streets.
I feel like you and Ashley are so integral to this community. Like the two of you make content that I feel is so important, and it really pisses me off that somebody wouldn't pay you $25 for a sponsorship, because
it was 20. It was so funny. I take
that personally. I'm taking that personally. The content that y'all are making is so important.
No, man.
Especially coming from like the education that both of you have, with Ashley being a librarian and you being a therapist. The way, and you don't even have to approach your content as a therapist, but because you are a very highly educated woman and a very empathetic woman and a very joyful woman making such important content, and they won't pay you $25, that I take that personally. Like that really pisses me off. I'm getting so jaded with like YouTube and the way that like these big companies treat people, I'm really frustrated lately. Because like, you know, you get bigger and you start getting these emails and you're like, the expectations are so ridiculous. I could go off for an hour. I won't. Yeah, that pisses me off. $25. I'm so pissed.
Yeah,
Well,
$25.
Like that is the point, right? Like you shouldn't be like, am I the one that's like am I the crazy one here? No, like you should be pissed. You should like know that they should have paid you easily 10 times that, right? And they wouldn't like they're the ones the wrong. You should be pissed about it.
Because at first, you know, when you start content creator, I don't know if it's just because I'm a Black woman or just like us, you know, you start and they email you. You're like, oh, my God, they want to work with me, you know. And then, oh, look at this little cutie pie.
Right in there.
Okay. All right. Chill out.
This little cutie pie. And, you know, you just hang out and you just excited, and then you take the product and you're like, this ain't it. But one idea I had was to read Full Metal Alchemist manga. I like hearing people talk about it, like One Piece. Not interested in hearing people talk about it.
So what do you guys think of video essays? Because I love them. I know Mara has done a few specifically like in the Booktube realm, and I find that to be really interesting.
Love them.
I would love for people to do them.
I love them. There was a book, a series of video essays that I did, and I stopped doing it because it was a lot of work, and it just wasn't giving what it was supposed to have and gave. And I would read books set in New Orleans and critique them. And it was called NOLA Reads. And then I was like, yeah, this is done. And then I had Mental Health with Bree. And those was a lot of mental capacity to do. But I loved doing them.
Yeah. And you have done quite a few different series. I know like even with like videos I love watching or that I'd love to see more of. So I'm gonna bounce around the points a little bit. But like I love watching discussion videos and I make some of my own and I love watching discussion labs this. Like Ashley, queen of the discussion video. Queen of the discussion video. And I love them. I'm so happy and excited when I see those videos in my feed. I'm like, oh,
that's my girl.
I just gotta watch.
That's my girl.
I love her so much.
Yeah. And I kind of don't understand why more people don't do it. And especially because like you could be talking about the exact same topic that Ashley is, right? And you're gonna be coming at it from a completely different point of view. Like Ashley is so entrenched not only in the Booktube community, but then all of her experience as a librarian and just like bringing all that as a queer Black woman and her ability to tell you how she feels about it while also giving you space to come at it from your own, experience. Like her videos are brilliant. So you could be talking about the exact same thing and Ashley's still going to have her crown, right? Like
she's still at the end of the day, it's giving number one.
It is.
And nobody can fight me on it because I'm biased and I don't care. It's giving number one.
Yeah, I'm more likely to watch discussion videos. So like my most watched people on Booktube are going to be Ashley and Mari from My Name is Marinez.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because those two are making discussion videos that are making me so much smarter by listening to them. So I highly appreciate the work and like the dedication to their craft and they're so smart. I love them so much. Those are the two that I'm watching the most. So,
they're I've done a couple of them and I liked it. And
I feel
really it's the comment section, huh?
I feel like yours have been over some very heavy, difficult topics.
Yeah.
They took a lot more out of you than
So
if,
much energy.
you were just talking about the booktube community for 2023, which still has some heaviness, but like your stuff that you've done those discussion videos on have been really, really like heavy stuff.
Heavy. And I'm like, but the thing is, I don't know any other way to be. I'm not even a content creator, and I want to scream every time someone wants my take on something. Oh my God, Ava, this is why I fuck with you the long way. Because exactly, I'll be like, get off of my back. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
let me breathe. Jesus. Because then the thing is, you don't want my opinion.
Right. You're right.
You don't want it.
What is something that you guys want to see more of? Whether you want to make it or not, when you open the YouTube app, you're like, I want this.
I want more collaborations.
I was going to say the same thing. I also think that it's important that I think that not to once again get anti-corporation. I'm so sorry, but I think that the corporations are really depending. They're really depending on us not communicating with each other.
Exactly.
They are really depending on that. And I think that us having open communication with each other and never, ever, never view another content creator as your competition, because this is
the gatekeeping ain't right.
Yeah, this is a community, and the more communal we make this community, the more we all succeed. And I think that corporations are hoping that we view each other as competition and that we don't interact with each other on a personal level and encourage each other, make more content, make the same content I'm making, tell each other how much money you're making, and let's all collectively ask these corporations for more because we all know they have it. Let's all make sure that they are paying Black creators just as much as they are paying their white creators. Like, let's all put in a communal effort in order to see that, because otherwise they're getting exactly what they want. So that's what I would like to see, is more collaboration and transparency with each other, and more communal content creation, which I used to do a lot of. I'm just really bad at like getting everybody to like, I feel like I'm constantly doing that with my own kids. So like all that, I get really exhausted by it, but I am in. Like, anything that anybody wants to do, if you ask me, I'm in, because I want to do that.
Yeah. It's I did 2 social experiments. Well, they turned into social experiments. They didn't start off that way. And when I say social experiments, I was like, after I finished it, I was like, oh damn, there is racial. Not saying I didn't know there was racial discrepancies in YouTube. It just made it more apparent. The first one is when Gavin read all 8 of the Pretty Little Liars series, right? Him and I was talking about it, and we were reading them together. I did a video as well. I was cooking in it, whatever. That video still has not made 1,000 views.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. And then the same with Lala read the Shining, the Shine McGuire, those kids, they missing. That book, those series, and I read them, and I also saw the thing. And like, to me, I'm just like, channel size, just really do what you want to do. I know people just say that, but just, if you are a Black creator, just do what you want to do. Because unless you align yourself with whiteness, or you slow and steady win the race like Tory, that's the only time you're gonna start getting traction on your books, on your videos.
Yeah, people ask like, what advice would you give to somebody just starting a channel? And my thing is like, whatever you're doing outside of this, bring it in. Like, bring in all the parts of your personality, because there's a book about everything. So like, if you like something, read a book about it and talk about it, because your passion will come through. And like, do that. Talk about things that you're passionate about. Oh my God. Heather, you have somebody in your comment section that you need to get rid of.
Yeah, I was like, stuck it.
I looked over and I was like, wait, what? Yeah, whatever you're passionate about outside of this, like whatever brings you joy, bring it in, or whatever, gets you fired up. Either way, it's cathartic for me to yell about right wingers to a camera. It feels good. So if you find catharsis in such a thing, oh, didn't you just have a fruit roll up and now you want fish? All right.
I find so reading ACOTAR, which is a series I never in the history of ever thought I would read, but that was a collaborative project, and I love a collaborative project. That's really the only time I feel like people are going to get a video out of me. But now I feel like I want to read book 2 and talk shit. I want to read book 3. It was a fun experience.
Vina is
a fun experience.
Something too.
Which I know that you've talked about, Bree. One of the most annoying things too about Booktube is how people will credit white creators for putting Booktube on books creators of color has been talking about.
Yeah.
This happens to me more often than not. Heather, I've spoken to you about it. Mm-hmm. And it makes me really don't want to be a part of this fucking community, if I'm being honest. Because and I'm not saying I own the book. I own all of this, but I'm tired of people coming on my channel and telling me they heard of a book that I'm talking about from a white creator, when if it wasn't for me, that white creator wouldn't have no fucking idea that that book existed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
for you, we know it's happened many, many, many times. And not even just one instance, not one creator, not one book series, many times.
Many. And I'm like, y'all really out here? Not you colonizing on the Booktube.
Yeah.
That's actually a good way to put it. Yeah.
So yeah, it literally, because of it, is the reason why I trademarked Blackaween. That was a driving force, because I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I fully support, and I'm so glad that you did. I think that was such a wise choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Vina says, I've seen it happen with Blackaweenathon too.
Yeah. We've seen it happen.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I know for me too, like it tends to be like people I don't watch that much and books that I don't really read, and I can still notice it. So like that tells you it's pretty blatant, because like I don't even read those books generally. Like I do read almost completely romance, right? And I'm still like, I know where I saw that, and I know where you saw that, but why isn't that being mentioned in this video? That's so weird.
Yeah.
I also actually do kind of hate watching book hauls. I never watch them, but there are some. I think when they turn it into a challenge, I do enjoy watching. Like, well, I guess it wouldn't be hauls, so it'd be more like unhauls. But when they're trying to like time themselves, or they're doing like something, some sort of like penalty thing, I enjoy those. But that's the only way I like to watch them.
I don't watch hauls. No offense, it's just not something I watch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, for all intents and purposes, we're just individual creators and individual viewers. What I like to see, I'm still only one viewer. I mean, I don't click on your video, but like, you don't have to care whether I'm watching you or not. So when I say I don't like book hauls, or I don't really like collabs all that much, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I I'm like, okay, I've watched 2 of you and I'm done. And there's 18 more videos and I'm not going to watch them and I feel bad, but I'm not.
I love them. I love them so much.
But yeah, like it doesn't matter. Plenty of other
Yeah.
people love them. And if you want to do it, then you should be the one creating it. I mean, it seems simple to me, but not everyone seems to be on board with that.
Yeah.
What is your best performing video, if you know? I know for me, mine is a jealous and possessive romance hero recommendation video from like 2 years ago. And still my best.
It's Light Lark.
I feel like that's not even the most controversial one that could be for you, Rachel. Could be worse.
It could be worse, but of all the things.
That's a good question. Let me look. I was trying to figure that out. I really think it's Spare.
It's which one?
Which was such a good video.
I'm having a very hard time picturing the thumbnail in my mind.
Spare, the one she did on Harry.
Fair.
Harry.
Okay. Yes.
Harry.
No, I was hearing Fair, and I was like, I don't remember.
What up, Fair?
I remember Rachel doing Fair Est, but I don't remember Fair.
No, she did. It was so good, and like I didn't care about that book at all. But as soon as Brie put up a video, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch that though."
Right.
I'm still shocked because even when I do popular things, it doesn't pick up. And that one got 8.4 thousand views, is what this is saying. Yeah, but it was. I had to cut off the comments the other day, though. I'm tired of people telling me I need to do this and telling me, oh my God, you don't understand. He struggled. I'm a Black woman in America. Please stop it.
Right.
Please stop it. And they literally every fucking week I'm getting comments and I'm like, I hate this here. I hate it here. And like I'm also about to take off. I'm about to do it right now. Take off the comments from the 10-year memoirs, which is my second best performing. But I'm like, look, I thought I was trying to be as good as I can be for those memoirs. That was rough. Yeah.
No,
that was such a good video.
It was well done.
Huh?
I watched it. It was well done. It's not you. I do agree with Ava. I think that it's interesting when white creators host Heritage Month themed readathons. And to me, I always kind of take that as, okay, so you don't know enough creators of that heritage, but you can host a readathon by yourself. So it's not like you have to. And if you don't know anyone, maybe you shouldn't. It's just always kind of my thing. Like, it's okay if you don't, but if you don't, maybe you shouldn't be the one to be talking about it.
Yeah. A book haul is rough. I have a box behind me, and I said it maybe yesterday, but I have a box behind me. It has 20 plus books. It was sent to me by Penguin Random House because Blackaween won Event of the Year for the Always Black Awards last year. I was like, I'm going to do a book haul. That just seems like a hell no, you know? So I showed my patrons and that's it.
Patreon community that I did not expect. I made my Patreon less than a year ago. I did not expect to build such a great community.
It's a good time over there.
I'm so thankful because my comment section is a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Disaster. I'm deleting stuff daily, multiple things daily, because people are disgusting.
Yeah.
But my Patreon community is like the shining light of content creation for me.
So it really is a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Oh my
unless you're trying to
God.
be a patron and be a hater, which I've never experienced, it's a
I
good
had an
time over
author.
there.
I had an author who I did a recent authors behaving badly on. He went and joined my Patreon to be creepy. Yeah. So that was, yeah. This
Yeah. It's always
that's what I'm talking about is
worrisome.
yeah. I do stuff and then that shit happens. So like it kind of feels like a lot of people will like get in my comments and be like, this is the consequences of your own action, and then eventually it starts to actually feel like that. Like it starts to feel like they're right.
Yeah.
So
They're wrong, but I do understand feeling like it.
so yeah, it's yeah.
Because I can tell you, like, I am not afraid to tell people that I disagree with them, right? I'm not. At the same time, I have never left a I disagree with everything that you're saying. This channel's not for me comment. I've clicked off of lots of videos. I've unsubscribed from more people than I've
I just
subscribed
leave.
to, right? Like, I leave all the time. I'm like, absolutely not. But
I
I
just
don't
leave.
ever say, oh, you're wrong about all of the things that you said. And so, like, I don't respect people that do. If, like, you're going around leaving hate comments or telling people how much you disagree with their entire take, and, like, you're not pointing out, like, actually, you're being racist, actually, like, that's ableist,
Oh,
if
that's
you're,
different.
that's not what you're doing, right, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of
If
my
that's not what you're
favorite
doing, then I don't need to see you.
one of my favorite comments, and I feel like you were involved in it, Heather, and remind me if I'm not. So there is it's no secret that I speak slowly.
Your voice is so calming. Is somebody making fun of the way you speak? I will
Yeah,
actually.
that happens more than I care to admit. So I can't do nothing about this voice, okay? It is what it is. And I remember one time I was laughing because I thought it was funny. And this man fucking came for me about my cadence.
It
And
was a man.
Heather and Nicole roasted the shit out of this person in the comments. I was laughing so hard. It was so good. But I was just like, even
It was a
like
time.
people can't even in Spare. People like she can't even. It takes her 12 minutes to say one thing. They were. They
Okay,
came
and we
for
like
your
it.
girl, and I just delete.
That's wild.
So and I mean, it took my family also, like, it wasn't until recent years I've had to, like, say, hey, you need to be kinder to me. I don't care if it's frustrating for you. I'm not speaking I don't know how to give you what you need.
Right.
And especially if someone is asking me a question and my first thought is to tell you to take a long walk off a short bridge, I need time to process what I want to say to you. So my processing can be a bit slower. And also as a therapist, I know that just saying the first thing that comes off your mind can be really hurtful and upsetting to someone. So I like to think through what would be a more empathetic and human response than go fuck yourself.
Right. Well, and just like on this note, you don't talk painfully slowly. Like,
Yeah.
you don't. And even if you did, like, people are just so rude and they're so ableist with it. Like, so often I feel like it's ableism, right? Where and like, I understand, especially if you're like younger or whatever, being frustrated when, like, you want them to get to the point or you want them to spend an hour or whatever. But truly, just like, understand not everyone processes the same way. And, like, even like my husband, my family will speak over each other, right? You want to talk, you jump in there. You jump in the middle of their sentence and you talk over top of them. He won't, and he hates it. Like, he cannot stand multiple people talking at the same time. He hates it. And when we first, like, started dating, I would, like, keep throwing out options because he wasn't answering me. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go with the next one. Like, And he's like, I'm getting to answer you. Like, just hold on. Like, I am gonna answer the first thing. If you would just shut up for 1 second, just let me
Yeah,
speak.
I'm your husband. I'm telling you right
Like,
now, when I go home, because I'm going home for like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to New Orleans May 18th. So if anyone's there, let me know. But I'm going to be there for a minute. And I know my family, I know I'm going to be sitting there like, because I can never get a word in. So I just be the observer of the crew. And they be like, Bree, tell me, she said that, didn't she? I'll be like, look, you said this, the other one said that, and then I don't recall anybody saying this. I'm like the person that can just regurgitate, whatever it is, what it's saying, because I can't do it, So yeah,
right.
it'd be like that.
And there's nothing wrong with being like that. And truly, especially with videos, if you don't like it, don't watch that creator.
You
If
can
you don't
also
like
speed
the way
it
that they
up.
talk, right.
You
If
speed it up.
literally
Yeah.
if anything about that creator annoys you, you can click off and never watch them again, and no one has to know. They don't
Yeah.
have to know. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I myself listen to the playback of my stuff on a speeded volume. I ain't judging you.
I love that for you.
I ain't judging you.
So
And some people, sorry, just like as a last
you're
point,
good.
some people, like my friend Bibella has a voice a lot like Bree's, where it's very soothing, and she talks slower than I do, like slower than most people, right? But that in Bibella's case, which she has a channel, check her out, she's great. She's from Brazil, and English is her second language.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
if you really like, some people, their English is their second language, and like if you don't like it, leave. Like, I can't stand people. I can't stand comment sections.
Yeah.
Some people are truly willfully ignorant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I think for some people, they at some point need to be confronted with, like, just because someone doesn't do it exactly the way you do doesn't mean that you're more intelligent and or better than they are. Like, that's not what that means. And sometimes, especially again, I feel like for a young adult, maybe you might have to be smacked in the face with the fact that you're not better than everyone else. Calm down. But then, like, if you are confronted with that and don't change, then at that point it's completely on you. Like, you're the issue here. We have another comment saying that they love your voice, Bree. So
I think that's sweet. I don't understand it, but I think that's sweet.
I mean, I understand it. I think anyone saying that they don't is weird. So
Listen, I think when you live with your voice, you're like, what's soothing about it? I'm not being
yeah,
soothed.
well, you are. So
Serenading. I do hope to do more mindful meditations though, on my channel. I know that's not
yeah,
really part of Booktube, but I enjoy doing that video.
yeah, and like whoever wants to watch it will watch it. So
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna write
so
that down so I don't forget.
yeah, you do that. This is I'm glad someone got an idea. Even if it was from themselves. It's fine.
If I don't write it down, Heather, it won't happen.
I write it all down. I have a note on my phone. As you can see, I have my never-ending video idea.
Oh my
And
God.
like if it's like a discussion video or something else, like this one is badly explaining book plots using food metaphors. I have like all the different things I'm gonna say, like fast food versus or mushy cold food, or like you don't like how it looks, but once you try it, you do actually like. So I have like paragraphs of that, but it's just like bullet points on everything. And I'm like, you know what? books with sex and murder. That sounds like a good video title, and then I'll just write it down.
Listen, I had a book idea a couple years ago, and you helped me with, Heather. Cannot find a tweet, so the book idea is done. But I wanted like the most raunchiest romance covers because I wanted to roast them. And that video idea is dead.
More.
It's dead because I'm like, where the hell are the covers? I've been trying to look for it for like a year and a half. Haven't found it. I said it's above me now.
All you had to do was say, Heather, I need this again. Because it's in my Goodreads. Like, all I have to do is, like, scroll a little bit. I would do it pretty free.
Aaron on to something. Straight up. Sell it.
Yeah, I'm saying, actually, Heather, how much are you charging? Because I need help. I can't think of anything. My brain is dead. I don't know what to make anymore.
It's free $99. I'm literally like, oh my God, you need ideas? I have got you. And also, not to toot my own horn or anything, but like if I have a list of ideas for me, I will totally share it with other people. But if you are like, I need ideas, I'm like, oh, well, what do they make? And like, what do their viewers like? And then I have like a whole separate thought process and like video ideas.
Ooh, you should do that for me.
Okay.
You should do that for me. In the chat, I'm looking for book video ideas that I can do that is less than 10 minutes, and I don't have to read a bunch of other books. That's what I just want to sit down, film for 2 hours, and come out of that with like 6 10-minute videos. That's what I want.
Okay. I actually have an idea for you. So I want a blanket, Mama. Oh, okay. Here's a blanket.
Get that blanket, Mama.
No, I want that blanket. You need my blanket specifically, not the Paw Patrol blanket that I bought for you. Got it.
Right.
Makes sense. Surely. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not realize that you were so bougie. So we're doing Queer Lit Readathon next month.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the prompts for the bingo board is crime. So if you have a recommendation like list of queer books that are crime centered, I would love to see it and share it so that other people can choose like which books to read.
Okay.
I would definitely have to go into the vote.
You could call it Be Gay, Do Crime.
You said
okay,
I can call it Be Gay,
let me write
Do
this
Crime.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need titles for a recommendation, or you just want to share other people's lists? I'm not sure you.
I need like ideas of what content to make. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm over here like, yes, I know that y'all want like authors behaving badly, but what else y'all got? Like what other things?
Have you ever thought doing video series on like weird fandoms?
No, I mean I could deep dive into Star Wars fandom. I get very weird about like, but I still have to make it book related because my name is Reads With, and I feel bad if I don't hook it back around to a book. So like I have to somehow like tangentially, how do I say that word? Tangentially relate it back to books. So
I know what you're trying to say, and I
5 books I regret reading for videos: Light Lark, Pawn and the Puppet. After the E.L. James book, Pawn and the Puppet again. There you go.
Yeah, and just talk about what that means to you. Yeah, so you're going to get a lot of content, I'm hoping, from me in the month of June, because starting 18th of May, I'm going to catch an Amtrak train, and I'm going home. And my dad is going to be in it a lot. I'm forcing him. So me and my poppy, and I'm going to just say, don't be drinking water when you watch that film because you think I'm funny. That man is out of pocket. That man is hilarious.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Okay. I feel like it's so okay. All right. You guys can just like do any sort of list. So book covers you love, book covers you hate, books that were great but had terrible covers, books that were bad but had good covers, books that you bought because of the cover and they were worth your dollars, books that you almost DNF'd, but they ended up being 5 stars. Books that you did DNF. Books that you were like, this is cozy. This is what you need for this mood. Or I know like I feel like Rachel, you could do like a bunch that are this helped me coming out of funny. So I know like different things that I've done are like books that like have abortion in them or have positive sex scenes in them, or like obviously anything gay is good. um and I know like whatever like genre you read the most of, you can do your 5 top books in there, or you can do this is my favorite author, or you can do like I like this author, this is their most popular book, but this is the book I like the most from them, or you can do their most underrated book, or like authors that you read all the time and your favorite book from them and it's not related to any other books. Or you can do like I have on my list like really popular books, and then here is a comparable diverse book. So the original book, it could still be diverse, but it's like the one that everybody mentions if they want like that representation, you know?
Yeah.
I think that that's really good. I think that talking about what you like in books as a general thing, either buzzwords or tropes or character types or themes, I think that those types of videos that they aren't about any one specific book. And you can mention books that do it well if you want to, but you really don't have to. But it's just this is what I like in books. This is what I like in videos. This is what I dislike.
You know what I thought about doing, and I talked to my patrons about it, and they were like, do it, and then I still haven't done it, is instead of like just doing authors behaving badly all the time, I would love to do like an authors behaving excellently, because first of all, one of my favorite people in the entire fucking world, is Angela Davis. I love Angela Davis. Angela Davis is a queen among humans. She's absolutely brilliant. If I could sit down and pick her brain, I would die. Like, I love her so much. I've read 3 of her books. I refer back to passages of them. I listen to her narrate Freedom is a Constant Struggle sometimes when I need to fall asleep. Like, I'm obsessed with her. And I would love to talk about, like, her life. And, I mean, her autobiography alone is just so powerful. Like, how she talks about how she was on the FBI's most wanted list. Actually, she could count for Be Gay, Do Crime, because she is a lesbian and she was on the FBI's most wanted list.
Yep.
And she's so brilliant. And she always talks about how nothing is personal. The personal is political and everything is interconnected. And I could talk for hours about her. So I might do like authors behaving excellently and use that as an excuse to talk about Angela Davis.
I also good like idea for you would be authors who messed up but recovered like really well. Like they seem to have genuinely been like, oh shit, I'm never doing that again, and like changed in the
second
public
chance authors.
Yeah. Yes, second chance authors. Erin, I would never do booktubers behaving badly. I stick to authors for a reason. And already like authors who are content creators, that has caused problems for me, especially recently. And that alone is like has been really scary. So I would never, I don't want to, if I think that somebody is being messy, and people can attest to this, I'll DM you and I'll be like, hey, you might want to not do this.
Well, and
there have been people who like try to set up readathons, and I'm like, could you rethink what you're doing here? Because what you're doing here is not looking good.
Well, and I know like Jess did used to cover content creators
She did.
and she stopped. And she stopped because it created a lot of problems. And part of
Well,
it was,
and
and
like
she talked about this, like she was tiny when she started
she was, yeah.
community. Like her channel was significantly smaller than mine is now. And then obviously it's grown and a lot of people do watch community. And then the larger creators were like, Jess did this to me. And it's like,
Yeah.
Jess had 1,000 subscribers. I don't think so.
Well, even I felt like very scared one time when Jess had used my tweets in a video, and I DM'd her and I was like, hey, can you, and like that, my reaction to that was so like not cool. And it was so shitty. And like, we've since talked about it and apologized. And I said like, that was not it for me. And I feel so badly. And now we're good. And
right.
We're like Booktube friends, and I love Jess, and I can understand like that even I played a part in that. And like, I wouldn't want to end up having that situation. Like, I wouldn't want to be in Jess's shoes. Like I wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
So I would never do it, because I saw what happened to Jess, and I know what part I played in that. Just being like, not necessarily mean, but just like shitty and unreasonable is how I would describe how it was. And I wouldn't want to do that.
It's very easy to be defensive.
It is. Yeah. For the most part, I like to think I'm a pacifist.
I'm not. I'm so sorry. I am not.
I know for the most part, I like to think that, but I think it ain't true. And the reason why I have a hard time doing, like inflammatory stuff, as you were saying, Rachel, or like, even though I'm proud of my video spare and I'm proud of the memoirs book videos, it makes me uncomfortable to do stuff that I know that somebody can either take it out of context or have their own opinion on it that differs from mine, in a way where they're choosing violence verbally in the comment section. Right. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to think of how uncode switching I can go in this context. Because this is your channel. This is your channel, Heather.
I do not care.
Huh?
Okay. I do not care. If they have a problem, I will block them. It's that simple.
Yeah. And I say what I'm about to say because I'm having reservations of saying it. But I'm about to say what I'm about to say from a cultural context only. At the end of the day, I'm a nigga from the South. I will fucking find you and beat your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a hard time.
Fair enough.
On the end, I'm not arguing with you on these internet streets.
Right.
I'm not the one to fuck with.
Right.
So I have a hard time wanting to do those content, because you say some shit about me, you better say that shit in my face.
Right.
You better say it with your full chest. Mm-hmm. Or we gonna have problems. So let me just chill. I'ma chill.
Yeah.
And be hungry.
I think too I think that sometimes too it can be helpful in like the difference between Rachel's content and my content, right? Where I complain a lot. I complain a lot in my content, and I say a lot of negative things, but it's mostly things like if the love interest is rich and she doesn't take the money, I am so annoyed with her. Like, it's stuff like that where it's not specific to any one person. Listen, I just read one. He was a billionaire. She has worked for him for 1 week. He calls her 5:30 Saturday morning and is like, I need you to pack a bag and get on this plane. So she goes. She doesn't know what's happening. She's going to be his fake fiance at his family reunion for a week while he works. He's not even doing the reunion with her. He's hiding in the room on phone calls.
He's got to pay
$50,000, and then she gets offended when he tries to give her the money because she fell in love with him. I was like,
ew.
Listen.
I'm not falling in love. Your family reunion? I don't care about you. I don't care about you. I'm so annoyed with you at this point. I have earned every dollar.
Mm-hmm.
I got student loans. You
Write my
can't
check.
the entire balance, sir.
Love and money can live together. I can love you and take your
They
time.
can. Because me loving you ain't gonna pay for my Starbucks that I want on a daily basis. Me loving you ain't gonna pay for the nice fresh juices I like.
Right.
Me loving you is not gonna make sure the man ain't trying to come for me on the first when the bill is due. What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to put at least 5-10 on it. You get what I'm saying? My sister was telling me,
like,
no. My sister told me the other day, she's like, I won the lottery.
I can love you better when I'm not broke. Like, I can love you better not.
If my significant other offers me money for something I already did, I'm taking the money. I don't care if we've been together for 2 days. I'm taking the money. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you buying that. That's cool.
No.
And the worst part is, especially with this particular scenario, it's always from people who couldn't miss the money if they tried because they have so much of it. It's literally like they offered you a sip of water. Like, it is no big deal to them that they just offered you $50,000 and you're over there on your principles and your morals like, no, I'm gonna drown on my own.
What moral, what principle, like what principle says no, you're right, the moral thing for me to do is to struggle? Like, no.
I have a friend. I have a couple of my guy friends. One, they're African. A couple of my guy friends. One, they're African. So really, as a woman, you're not gonna pay with stuff. I can be bought as well.
I can be bought.
And there's one time they were like, "Oh, Brie, are you paying for what? When you make $150K compared to mine, you better buy my sandwich."
Yeah. Literally. Like, I'm sorry, but I accept the sandwich. I am not. It drives me crazy. But the thing is, like, I rant about those things all the time, right? And I don't get any hate comments for it. I don't, right? So you can do content. I don't know how well it will do for you or not, but like, you can do content where people might disagree with you, but they're probably not going to go out of their way to like rain hellfire down on you.
Come on, New York. Come on, New York. But yeah, I feel like people too reckless on the internet, and it could be because I'm also a millennial. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a Gen Z. I think we're all millennials on this, right?
Yeah.
And we grew up in a time where you talk shit in school, you got to go in school and see the motherfucker that you were talking shit about on MySpace.
Right.
You talking shit on the MySpace, and you think
MySpace,
you on Black Planet living it up and thinking that you ain't about to go in school and see the mug you were just talking about.
Right.
50K is 50K at the end of the day.
Is 50K.
You could have got a new electric car. Look at you.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
And she was like a elementary school teacher. I was like,
oh no,
buddy, what are you doing?
And depending on how long that wedding, I'd have been like, you mean 50K a day?
Yeah.
I'm not moving.
You can literally still marry him if you so choose.
A billionaire. $1 billion.
$1 billion with a B.
That's how I feel.
What annoys me about like every E.L. James book was every E.L. James book is the woman being like, I don't want the money. I just want you. Okay, and what if I want both?
I want both. And if
I want my bills paid.
To do that for me. This is a test of our love.
My thing is, it ain't tricking if you got it.
Exactly. It doesn't cost you anything. It costs
It
you
ain't
nothing.
tricking if you got it.
It's literally like me walking by someone and like they dropped their phone and I pick it up and hand it to them. Hello, child. Like that didn't cost me anything. I'm not hurting because I picked up that phone. And maybe it would have hurt them. Maybe physically that would have been difficult for them.
Look at this cutie pie who stole your face.
I know.
You said copy paste.
I know I did.
I did the same, but the other way around. I took Carlos and I copy pasted him twice.
I love that for you.
They don't look anything like me.
Oh, I hear your daddy. He knows you escaped.
Yeah, my husband came in earlier. He's like, "Where is the youngest?" And I said, "Right there."
The daddy. Daddy will do whatever you need.
But where is the blue tablet?
Oh, it's right there. Look underneath that.
Mine came for the tablet too. That's so funny.
Love you, bye.
Y'all gonna miss those cuddles.
Yeah.
Got a dog too, apparently.
Okay,
we are almost done, which we did not really like go through the bullet points, which is
I was
like
I was ready for some more recommendations. So
yeah, can you help now still?
I know. I want to film and do stuff on the train. The train is 34 hours. So, but I want them to be themed. That's the thing. Themed to the train.
Okay, well, see, this is okay. This is how I do all mine, and I'm telling you, it works so well. Okay, hold on. Let me grab my planner.
Me and Heather used to do content creating the same way until I fell off.
I know.
Bree, you should film you reading A Crime on a Train in a train.
Yes.
And just
I was thinking of doing that. I love
that. I'll watch that. I mean, I'm going to watch anything you put up, but I will read I will watch you reading a crime train book on a train.
You make your ideas, you put them in the order that you're going to post them, right? And ideally, if they're in like a month that is happening right away, you already know this is doable for this month, right? This is not, you don't have any that like this one's not going to take 3 hours and this one's going to take 3 hours and like no. And then I have all of my notes done. So Cozy Fantasy, if you don't want to watch the video, screenshot, there's the list. My dress. I had one idea. I decided to pivot and I changed it to what it's going to be. So when I sit down to film these, I'm going to film 1 or 2 together. I don't have to think about any of the things. I have every part that I needed to brainstorm already done, right? Authors I'm done with. Done. In defense of reading pace. Done.
Oh my God. Heather, you're so organized.
One night stand. Done.
You must be neurotypical.
Then yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Suddenly, everything is making
notes for is which way do I need to put this? Is anticipated releases. And anticipated releases, I will film last minute because I do indie romance and they don't announce their books far ahead of time. Anticipated releases, I will film on the 29th and it will post whatever day that is, the 30th. I have all my notes for all of these videos done. I have my ideas for all of June. I have my ideas for almost all of July, and I was like, no, stop. You cannot. I am like a firm believer. You cannot be like, okay, I need to come up with a video for tomorrow. I need to come up with the idea. I need to come up with all the books that are going to be in it, all the points that are going to be in it. Then do your makeup, then film, then edit, then upload, then admin, all within 24 hours. Like, over it. Immediately over it.
No, I can't do that. I need to do what you're doing. I need to go back to that because I was on top of my shit, though, Rachel. I was. When I was doing it like that,
you were.
I was on top of my shit. And now I just feel like I'm falling in the wind and
Well,
being
and
hit
like
by a train.
my rec videos, right? 5 books is a rec video. I'll go up to like 7 or 8, but I pretty much will not allow myself to do more than that because I don't want a long video. It's supposed to be an easy video. I don't want a long video. If I have more than that, then I will do the same topic again in a year, and I will use all those books and the ones that I read between now and then that I love, that I didn't use, and I will already have the
Oh,
content for it. Like, don't,
recycling topics.
yeah,
That's genius.
yes. Yes, especially if it does well, and especially if you have something to add to it, or like it is the type of thing you read a lot of. Like, I read a lot of paranormal romance. I'm gonna have more paranormal romance recommendations, right? Like do that all the time. Do that all the time. And I like try to make sure that like some of my videos are really easy, and I try to make sure that I have a balance. So my post-its are color coded. Like this is a monthly anticipated release and may wrap up and all of that. Like that's just my monthly like business, right? Blue is like discussion or like general. Pink is specific recommendation. These little flags are live shows. If I have orange, that's like a more general book recommendation type topic. Purple's blog. So like I know, okay, I need to not have all pink. It needs to not all be recommendation videos. It needs to have some. It needs to have some discussion. And like I cannot put difficult videos back to back. Like if it's long, it's not going next to another long one.
The fact that you're organized at all, but the fact that you're color coordinated.
We got to get off the live, Rachel. We got to
What am
get
I
off the
doing?
live. I'm not doing life right. But now I
What?
think I'm going to do one vlog a month and I'm going to do a discussion a month. But also, what is my discussion topics? What can I even talk about?
See, I feel like I could make a list of discussion topics for you as your viewer. As my own content creator, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. What am I? I don't know.
I'm ready.
I've never discussed anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
I think that any discussion video about the reading community or the Booktube community, like for instance, I'm going to talk about In Defense of Reading Pace, right? That's my discussion video for this month. I don't know if you guys know this, but that's been talked about a lot. Like people have things to say about reading 30 books a month or reading 5 books a month. And like I have things to say that I don't think have been said 90 million times, right? It's not just going to be mind your own business. Like that's going to be in there, don't get me wrong. But like there's more to it than that, right? So it's just like things I see in the community. I'm like, do I have anything to say about this? And a lot of times, especially my discussion videos, I won't lie, I usually have the idea months before I do the video. And every time it like comes around and stuff, I like add another bullet point to my notes or whatever. But like, and I don't know if you want to talk about this, Brie, but you could easily talk about the realities of being a Black content creator. You could easily talk about the way other content creators treat you, the way companies treat you. You could talk about why you feel like reading diversely is important, not just for everyone, but specifically for like reading where you come from, right? Wherever your roots are, reading there. You could definitely talk about the like when you do plants and cooking and stuff like that, you could talk about those things in conjunction with your books, or you could talk about how like what your theory, what your philosophy is behind Booktube creation. So making the videos that you want, right? And why that is, and what parts of it are important to you, and what parts of your life you don't want to sacrifice to Booktube. And so you have these like balance and checks to make sure that that doesn't happen. And you could even like you can give your advice to other content creators, or specifically your own experience and what you've had to do to pull back and to limit things and to make sure that You're not sacrificing yourself on the altar of Booktube for nothing, you know?
I'm just over here typing and every idea Heather has given.
Listen,
So
Those are the videos
listen.
that I will watch
I've
every
added it
time they're in
too.
my feed.
I'm
Also,
ready.
I have one that's like, if your favorite turns out to be problematic, what should you do? If what I wish YouTube would change, like what I wish that they would do for us specifically. So random. I hate the fact that you cannot hide posts in your subscription feed. So like if someone has a live show or like a collab or whatever, I'm already subscribed to all the people. And then like they all share it. And then I have that same video 9 different times in my feed. Or sometimes this is something that annoys me. It shouldn't annoy me, but it does. When that author keeps resharing their own thing that they just post, or that author, content creator, keeps resharing their same thing that they just posted, I'm like, I already saw you.
I do it all the time because there's one video I do it to all the time. And because I thought that video was great and didn't get comments, and I shamelessly plugged myself.
Well, and that's okay. But I especially wish, like, if I had already watched a video or if I'm not interested. I haven't read that book series. I'm not watching all those live shows, whatever it is. That it would let me be like, no, can I take this out? So when I'm scrolling, I'm not scrolling through 19 of those to get to the videos that were posted today. It's nothing wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with people doing it. I just wish YouTube would let me.
YouTube said, I'm gonna live. I'm looking on Twitter for some stuff. But yeah, so I'm sitting here just trying to figure out. So what I took from that is I think I'm going to do a book discussion of why Nola reads failed on my channel.
That would be good.
And why I'm not doing it again. And then what I will not sacrifice for Booktube and important of reading diversely, I think I'll do. I think I'm done with talking about being a Black content creator.
I don't blame you
for that. I'm not surprised that that's got to be exhausting by now, especially when it's like still the sponsors aren't listening, watchers are not listening, even other content creators aren't listening.
Right.
2 pet peeves.
I love a good Booktube pet peeve.
And I also need to go get a notebook because clearly I ain't living life right. This notebook idea.
You need one with plants on it. That's really magic.
Wow, that'd get me in.
Mine has papayas on it. It's really cute.
I need to go and get one.
I'm like, you have the data. You have all the data on all the things I'm doing, all the things I'm watching, how long I was there, all the things. Why are you so bad at your job? Why are you offering me this? I clearly don't watch this.
It's terrible.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to turn on the notifications. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't.
I turn on notifications and they still don't let me know nothing.
They're bad at it. I legitimately love Booktube pet peeves. And they're never ending.
You would love what?
Booktube pet peeves.
Yeah, I don't even know what they are. I think I don't have enough.
I've done a video or 3 or more. I don't know.
I don't think I have enough to do it.
I'm sure if you thought about it long enough, you'd be like, you know what? And another thing. I hate this too.
The one I'm hating the most right now, and I think this is also, it feels classist along that river, is people mislabeling manga, comics, and graphic novels.
Yep.
That's the
thing.
thing.
A whole video. Make it a whole video.
I'm
do
it.
Do it.
But I also been there. That's why I can't do the video, because I've also mislabeled them. But now that I know more, I'm like, no.
But that's okay. It's okay to make a video and be like, look, yeah, I used to do this too. Like, I didn't know. And this is what this means. And this is how you use it. And this is like, if this is what you're searching, this is what you're going to get.
Let me know,
Be
Bina. What have I
ready.
said? I forgot. What did I say? I'm going to write them down right now.
I would like to see discussions on like how things that predominantly women like, you know how like back in the day we all used to, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say we all, I definitely used to buy into the idea that I had to be like basically a pick me and be like, oh, I'll make fun of Twilight with the guys and shit on women. Because, you know, like it was cool to shit on Twilight just because girls liked it. And how like now that I look back and I'm older, I see like how stupid that was, and how like I can still see that things that predominantly women and girls like are shat on just because women and girls predominantly like them. So I'd like to see more discussions on that. I don't know that I could do it, but I'd like to see other people doing it.
I know, like I have an idea listed in my thing, where it's basically like Mean Girls and romance, and how so often like the side female characters will be like so villainized for like random things. Either the main character is a pick me, or the main character is the only beautiful, curvy, plus size woman that anybody has ever seen. And so we must constantly remark on how, oh, well, whatever, saying fat phobic stuff, right? Or like wanting to take the hero, like everyone, the waitress, the secretary, the ex, they're all like after the hero, and it's like, are they really though? Like, are we really, all of us? I find that hard to believe. I mean, some of them maybe, but all of us. And romance, like specifically, really prides itself on being this feminist genre. And a lot of them are not very good at it, to be perfectly honest. But I would do a video on
that's a valid reason to shit on Twilight. Like there's plenty of reasons to shit on Twilight. But like as a 20-year-old, I wasn't shitting on Twilight for any valid reason. I was shitting on it because it was cool to shit on Twilight. But now I'm like, oh, that's really stupid of me. Like I look like the idiot here. But that series is, first of all, it's terribly written. Like at least I could have been like, it's poorly written. It's ragingly racist. It's stupid.
Well,
it has one of the absolute stupidest, like just vapid and shallow main characters of all time. But instead I was just like, girls like it, so I'm gonna shit on it. Like stupid.
I think that it's a phase that a lot of us go through. I think because we're socialized too, really, and some people never outgrow it. But I think for a lot of us, it is just like a thing we go through when we're young, and then you come out the other side and you're like, oh.
Yeah. I think I figured it out. Pet peeves. I won't go too deep into it, but one of them is the mislabeling of graphic novels, manga, and comics. Another thing I would like to talk about, my pet peeve of people using trigger warning instead of content warning. Another pet peeve is people overly use of triggered in the book community. And also I'm coming at the romance genre with this. I'm really sorry, but I hate with a burning passion the trope grumpy sunshine, because it excuses narcissism. It excuses toxic communication. It excuses unhealthy boundaries, and it excuses men to be assholes, and then they need to be an asshole to you in order to love you. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
with a
lot
burning
of them do.
passion.
An ideal grumpy sunshine for me is someone who is closed off or quiet. Or maybe they're just quiet. And it does take like, and the other one is like, oh, they hate me. And really they're just quiet. That's it. And so they're actually like eventually they do communicate because they now know you, right? And they're never mean or anything. But everything that you said is often what people are saying is grumpy sunshine, right? That's what they
Also,
mean.
the book count police. Why can't people just mind their business?
I have a theory about this. You're gonna see it in my video if you watch it about reading pace. But I have a huge theory about this, and it's that they don't understand how math works. So they take all of their time that they spend on reading and how many books they're able to read in that time, right? And they assume that if you read more books than they do, then you took that same amount of time and just kept adding like that same block on. So you're reading like 60 hours a week. And like, how does anyone have time for that and stuff? And it's like, well, that's not always how it works. Reading pace, amount of time you're reading, yes, the length of the book, the ease of the book, the like there's something else that I'm like specifically like this like impacts your numbers. So you think that the only way to get to the number 30 is by lying about it because for you the number is legitimately 4, right? But if you have different factors that you're using as your starting points, then yeah, you can have a wildly different number as your outcome, and it doesn't mean that all you do is read or that you're lying about it or any of those things. But I think they don't understand that. And also, readers in general are elitist. Like, they think that being a reader makes them better, and that it is a competition, and that there are correct ways to do it. And there's like a ranking system, and these are the best readers up here, and that's just not true. It's not true. It's all in your head. It's all in your mind. Nobody else is in this competition with you, and
Exactly.
or like, you're not better. You're not better.
Yeah. I like to call them the classic book crusaders because they just be like, look, if you ain't reading classics, I'm going to head out.
I'm sorry. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's going to be me next week. I'm just kidding. I'm going to be like, I've wanted to make this video for a long, long time. And I just didn't know what to do, and it was going to take so much work. Here are 5 books covers that are just fantastic.
Right. You know what? Even like covers and other things, and reactions and stuff, they don't have to be books that you've read. Like, there's so much content that can be sprinkled in, right? So this is your wrap up, and then you have this video that has nothing to do with books that you read, and then you have a recommendation video, and then you have a discussion video. That's a video a week for the entire month. We're back to the wrap up. We're back to the wrap up. We didn't even have a vlog. We didn't have a TBR. We didn't have any like a haul, an unhaul. We didn't have anything besides those. And you, for all intents and purposes, already have a month worth of content. So if you're just slothing things in, like, okay, a vlog goes here, a discussion video goes here, but you can have a lot of videos that don't require you to have read any of the books or any books ever. And then you can have, these are the books I've read recently. And that's the only video you actually have to make based on recent reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone makes that video, but I'm saying, like, of the whole month, you only had one video that actually centered around what you were reading during that month. So it doesn't matter how many books you read. The video is the same. It's just listing what you read. It doesn't matter how many are in there. And you still have the same amount of content.
Yeah.
Yeah, that consumerism is real. Because I'm literally in a sprint while doing this, and it's almost over in 40 seconds.
Okay. Well, we can wrap it up right now.
No,
Yeah.
we don't have to wrap it up. I was just saying I'm gonna step away.
Oh, well, we are wrapping up, so it's too late.
Okay.
It's too late. Thank you, everyone, especially Bree. Thank you, Bree. You tap
True.
out. You don't have to
True.
finish my speech. You can leave, but thank you.
Well, thank y'all. See y'all later.
See ya. Bree is awesome in every way. I know she's sideways. Now she's gone.
Love her.
But yeah, this was very fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time. Just gonna go through the rest of these comments. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate all of you in the chat. I had a very good time. And message me if you want video ideas.
Thanks for having me on, Heather. I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for being here. Yeah.
Bye.